All right, I'm going to hit broadcast.
All right, let's go.
All right, we're going live. Welcome, everybody.
Hello.
Let us know if you can hear us in the chat. Also, while everybody's trickling in, if you guys could let us know where you're calling in from. We always like to know where everybody is. And also, if you can hear us, just say, yes, I can hear you.
There we go.
New York City, but it's chilly there. Houston, Calgary, Honolulu, woohoo. Oh, Australia. Also, we want to know what everybody had for breakfast today.
Yeah, let us know what you had for breakfast. We didn't talk about this before we went live. Shelly, what did you have?
Oh, I had a protein shake with a little bit of green tea in it and some steel cut oats. Back on
Solid. I made a chia pudding.
Oh, nice. Eggs and Brussels sprouts. Wow. Omelet. Ooh. See, now I'm getting hungry. All right. Well, welcome, everybody. We just wait a couple more seconds here. All right. So we're so excited that you're here and you're spending time with us on our webinar with That Clean Life. So we're so excited to introduce That Clean Life to our Practice Better users who aren't already yet familiar with it, and introduce it to our community who already loves it. So I'm Shelly Myers, and I'm the Business Success Coach for Practice Better. And with me is Ashley from That Clean Life. Say hi, Ashley.
Hi, guys.
Ashley is That Clean Life's growth lead, and she has worked with thousands of health professionals to help them implement meal planning into their practice to grow and scale their businesses. So as a certified holistic nutritionist herself, she understands the challenges of meal planning for clients and is passionate about the value it can bring to your business when those challenges are overcome. So welcome, Ashley. We're so excited to have you on today.
Thank you so much, Shelly. I am super, super pumped to be here. I'm actually curious to know how many of you guys who came out today are already members of That Clean Life. Maybe let us know in the chat if you're familiar. And if not, I can't wait to introduce you. Oh, we got a couple.
Awesome.
Amazing. Kiara.
No, but I can't wait for your introduction. Tell me more. We are definitely going to tell you more.
Amazing. Okay, cool. So I guess we'll just jump right into it then, guys. I have some slides that I'm going to fire up, and I think we're going to go ahead and turn our cameras off so that you're not distracted by all of our hand talking and other excitement.
Yeah, before we do that, I just want to say, if you guys do have questions, feel free to put those in the chat. And just so you know, we will be sending out a replay. We always get lots of questions about that, but we'll send out an email tomorrow with the replay. And so back to you, Ashley.
Amazing. And then also, Shelly's going to be moderating any questions that you guys have. So drop those into the chat box or the Q&A box while we are going. And we'll also come back to those at the end. So don't worry. We will hang out and answer all of your questions.
Awesome.
But jumping right into things, I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera off. So as Shelly said, here at That Clean Life, we have worked with thousands of health professionals all around the world to integrate meal planning into their businesses. So we know exactly what separates those who've been successful from those who flop and really struggle with it. And we like to call these points of difference the 3 secrets. So today I'm going to be spilling the beans, which of course I've soaked overnight on what these 3 secrets are. So first is that you can integrate meal planning into your business in a bunch of different ways, no matter what your business looks like. Second is that you can do it without spending your most valuable hours on making meal plans, because nobody has time for that. And third is that you can actually grow your business using meal plans. So secret number 1, like I said, is that you can integrate meal planning into your business in so many different ways. I don't care what your business looks like today. I promise that you can add even more value by adding meal planning or increasing the way that you're already using it in your practice. A lot of health professionals can clearly see the value that creating customized resources like meal plans, grocery lists, recipes, even prep guides can provide to your clients, but have a hard time visualizing how to actually monetize that and make sure that you're not just putting more hours in for the same amount that you're charging now. So if this is you and you can relate to those struggles, listen up, because I'm going to share some super simple ways that you can leverage the power of meal planning to actually make more money in your business. So first is that you can offer meal planning as a one-on-one service with your clients. So that's probably the most obvious. This method is really simple. When a client comes to you, you offer to create them a meal plan that is customized to their unique needs. And offering a customized plan is, of course, a much more effective approach than giving some verbal advice or a list of foods to avoid and then sending your client off to figure out the rest on their own. So you can also, if you're not interested in only meal planning for one-on-one clients, or if you're already doing that, you can add meal planning into your practice by running group programs. So you can use a meal plan just straight up with a shopping list, some recipes, maybe a prep guide for the week as the main resource to lead your community through a group program. Group programs and free challenges are huge topics in the wellness world, especially as we're heading into New Year. So that's a big one. You can also use meal planning to grow your email list by turning a meal plan into a lead magnet. So you've probably heard of a lead magnet before. A short sample 3 to 5 day meal plan related to your ideal client makes an awesome lead magnet. So let's say you're a nutritionist who's helping busy moms feel good about the food that they're feeding their family. Creating a 3-day one-pan dinner meal plan or something like that would be a perfect way to attract those ideal clients and get their email addresses. But that said, I'm sure there's some of you guys here today, and if this is you, let me know in the chat box right now, that don't offer meal planning because it's not in your scope of practice. Maybe health coach or personal trainer, and meal plans aren't necessarily for everyone. So if that's the case for you, no problem. You can actually remove the meal plan from the equation and really focus on sharing customized recipes from the meal plan. So recipe books are great for clients who either don't need a meal plan, but just some healthy eating inspiration. And also for those of you guys who can't provide a meal plan because of rules or your scope of practice right now. Meal plans and recipe books both make great supporting resources and handouts for live events like workshops and cooking classes. So if you've been looking for a way to amp up your events or add that into your services, this is a great way to do that. And for those of you guys who are already busy in practice, but you're ready to scale, you can use meal planning to create a subscription service or membership site. So let's say that you've built a super busy practice working with women who have IBS, and now the next step for you is creating a monthly low FODMAP meal planning subscription service or something like that. So it can really help you scale from working just with one-on-one people to working with large groups. And with a subscription service, the sky is honestly the limit. So you can do so many things with meal plans. You could partner with wellness professionals. I could go on and on. We could probably spend all of our time together today just talking about how you can use meal planning in your business. But the point is that I want you to see how easy it is to leverage the power of meal planning in various aspects of your business. So having meal planning as a part of your business goes way beyond that one-on-one client consultation that we always think of. And these are the tactics that have helped our community of That Clean Life members grow their businesses, achieve their business goals, and turn their community, their clients, into raving fans. So regardless of where you are at today, there's absolutely no reason of why you can't do this too. Okay, so that was a lot, but moving on, let's talk a little bit more about your actual colleagues. So speaking of our successful That Clean Life members, how many of you guys love seeing examples of what your colleagues are actually doing? And would you like for me to share some examples of what your fellow health professionals are using meal plans for in their business right now? If that's exciting to you and if you like seeing those kinds of examples, I can dive into a few. So, okay, perfect. First of all, there's Katie. So Katie is a holistic nutritionist. She specializes in mental health, and she uses meal planning to run her group programs, which are centered around Mood Food. So Mood Food is a 6-week program where participants receive a group meal plan and some group coaching through a free Facebook group. And when Katie joined That Clean Life, the first thing she did actually was launch her group nutrition program to increase the way that she was able to work with clients beyond that one-on-one model. So after that first round, Katie has relaunched her program multiple times. She charges $250 per person, and with 10 plus participants per round, I'm sure you can see that that's an awesome way to bring additional income and new clients into her practice who might later go on to purchase her high-end program or hire her for customized meal planning services. Another example, let's talk about Lauren. So Lauren is a nutritional therapist. She's actually in the UK. I know that from the chat box, we have representation all over the world. So all of you UK locals, this one's for you. She actually closed down her one-on-one practice to run a full-time membership site. The name of her membership site is called the Secret Kitchen Club. And in the club, members get access to monthly meal plans, seasonal recipe bundles, and a private Facebook group for support and community. Her members pay a recurring monthly fee of $40 a month, or they can pay for the full year upfront for a better price at $395 for the full year, I believe. And Lauren has grown her membership to hundreds and hundreds of members. So the subscription model gives her a ton of security in her business because she knows exactly what she's going to be earning every month because she signs people up into a recurring revenue model. So if you are interested in scaling and if subscriptions and memberships are something that has been interesting to you, know that that is totally possible. One more example before we move on. Let's talk about Leanne. So Leanne is a health coach, and she has mastered the art of delivering a free talk that books paying clients. So Leanne hosts free talks at businesses and private venues in her community, even just at people's houses. She calls them coffee mornings, and she'll get a bunch of moms together and actually host a free talk in one of their homes. And she covers different health topics that are of interest to her ideal clients. Then at the end of the talk, she sends all of the attendees home with a sample meal plan or a recipe book, and it's branded with her logo and business information. So she really shows off the type of resources that her clients get access to. And then she follows up with attendees, and the bookings start rolling in. People start hiring her to create meal plans for them or buying into her packages. Tons of different ways that this leads to business for her just from delivering one free talk. So those are just a few examples. I could share even more, but for the sake of time, we hope that that just shows you the sky is the limit in terms of how you can add meal planning into your business, and some proof that this is something health professionals all over the world are using to grow their own businesses. It's a total game changer. Which brings me to secret number 2. And secret number 2 is that meal planning does not have to take hours of your life. It does not have to be complicated. It can be a quick and simple process in your business that you actually enjoy doing. So this is where I want you to be totally honest, be real. How many of you guys hate meal planning? Let me know in that chat box how you honestly feel about meal planning. I already see Erin just raised her hand. The chat box is blowing up. Yeah, meal planning is not a fun task if you're trying to do everything by hand by yourself. Oh my gosh, really no one likes meal planning. Okay, let's see if we can change this. So I totally get it. In fact, I've been there myself. Like Shelly mentioned, I'm a holistic nutritionist, And I talk to health professionals every day. And one thing that we hear constantly here at That Clean Life is that nutrition professionals are not offering meal plans to their clients because it is just too labor intensive. And I get it. If you're spending 2, 3, or 4 hours, and I have been there, I have spent 4 hours meal planning for a client, it is not possible to do much else in your business, and you're probably not going to make very much money either because you're spending all your time just on one single meal plan for one client. But here is the thing. The process does not have to be such a grind. So for those of you guys who hate meal planning, please listen up. You don't have to spend hours all over the internet Googling and Pinteresting just to find recipes that work for your clients. You don't have to get into your kitchen and develop your own recipes or hire a recipe developer. You don't have to struggle with formatting a meal plan in a Word document that ends up looking like a school assignment more than a valuable resource that your client paid good money for. You don't have to spend hours hunched over your calculator to add up grocery lists or calculate nutrition numbers. Honestly, when I think about the days that I used to do all of this by hand, I'm cringing just remembering that. So of course, no one wants to spend their time on these tasks. And the great news is that you do not have to, guys. So one more example about a nutritionist who's using That Clean Life. I want to tell you guys about one of our members. Her name is Tina. She's amazing. She's a holistic nutritionist, and like most of us, she was creating her clients' meal plans in a Word document when she started. Let me know, actually, are you guys still creating meal plans in a Word document? Like, is that still the format of preference? I'm seeing yes, Word, nope. Okay, amazing. If you're not using a Word document, let me know what you are using. But for Tina, she was creating meal plans using Word documents, and I know that this is where a lot of health professionals are at. So meal plans are a huge, huge part of Tina's business as a nutritionist. Her clients are constantly asking for meal plans, and she figured out early that if she wanted to have successful clients and a successful business, that something had to give. So what she changed is the way that she was creating those meal plans. And now Tina is actually known in her community for creating awesome practical meal plans. Her clients are doing really well, and they're referring more business to her all the time. And she hasn't used a Word document or, like I'm seeing Laura, a Google Doc or anything like that in ages. So I'm actually here today to explain exactly how she made that transition and walk you through the exact changes that she made, because Tina sat down with me a couple of months ago and explained her exact process for creating a meal plan. So it's 3 steps. First, she assesses her client's needs. She actually uses That Clean Life's meal planning assessment tool. You guys might be familiar with that because Practice Better actually added this as a form that you can use. So let me know if you have heard of this meal planning assessment tool, maybe if you've used it already. And if not, hopefully you will check that out because you have access to it as Practice Better users. Second, she finds recipes that her clients will love based on those assessment results. So she focuses on the foods that they already like, mixes in a few new ones to try, and then of course avoids foods that will slow down their progress. And then third, she keeps her meal plans as simple and realistic as possible. So she gives her clients around 10 to 12 recipes for the entire week, uses plenty of leftovers and batch cooking, and leaves room for meals out and for them to actually live their life. And this makes sure that the meal plan is something that they'll actually follow, so that when they come in for their follow-up appointment, they're celebrating wins versus just going through a list of excuses and reasons why they didn't follow their plan. Okay, so that was a lot, but let's get to the juicy stuff now. So I'm gonna take you guys right inside of That Clean Life and actually show you how Tina does everything that she does to create her meal plans in a really short period of time and answer any questions that you guys have about That Clean Life. So if you'll just give me a second to stop my screen share here. There we go. I'm going to switch this over to That Clean Life. All right. open up the chat box, let me know if you can see my screen okay, and I can walk you through actually using that Clean Life. Yes, amazing. Okay, cool. I'm also catching up in the chat, seeing that a lot of you guys do not know about the meal planning assessment tool. Maybe Shelly can hop in at the end or something and actually show you guys where to find that, because I know that Practice Better includes it as a form, and I want to make sure that you guys have access to it because it's awesome. So the first step of creating a meal plan is definitely figuring out what foods your clients like, don't like, what their skill level in the kitchen is, how much time they have to cook, all of that. Okay, so moving along, welcome to That Clean Life, guys. This is our meal planning software. So when you first log in, you're gonna see a couple of things, the newest recipes we've added, the latest meal plans you've worked on. We've got a news feed. We've got some resources linked over here. The very first thing that you're going to want to do, and I'm just going to walk you through this really quickly, is get your account set up so that everything you create within That Clean Life actually has your branding. So when you first log in for the first time, all of this will pop up and you'll be walked through these exact steps. But as you can see, I've already uploaded my logo. I've input my company name, my email address, website, and chosen a color from my logo that I uploaded so that everything I create today is going to be branded with my specific business. So that's the most important thing that you have to do to get set up. And then you're pretty much ready to rock. So we're going to use an example today. Tina specializes in working with metabolic syndrome. So let's pretend that we are creating a meal plan for a gentleman who has metabolic syndrome. And first things first, we have a recipe database that is constantly updating. Like I mentioned, one of the hardest parts of creating a meal plan is searching Pinterest, searching Google for recipes that are going to fit your client's needs. But not everyone wants to get in their kitchen and create a bunch of recipes to create meal plans with, and definitely not everybody has the resources to hire an in-house recipe developer. So all of the recipes you'll find in That Clean Life are created, developed, tested, and photographed in-house by our team of recipe developers. They are all tried, tested, and true, and come with a super drool-worthy food photo. And we add 12 new recipes every single week. So this is a constantly updating database. So with over 1,400 recipes, you want to make sure that you are finding the recipes that work best for your clients. So that's where filters come in. So I'm just going to click on filter. Now let's talk about this fake client profile. So my client, Richard, he's got metabolic syndrome. He's also doesn't mind cooking, but it's not his favorite thing in the world. So he wants easy recipes. So we're going to focus all on easy recipes that are good for metabolic syndrome. So first things first, I'm going to say no more than 30 minutes. That is the maximum amount of time that Richard can spend in the kitchen. Let's say under 10 ingredients. You can scale for how many ingredients. You could look for 5 ingredient recipes. I'm going to say no more than 10 ingredients in the recipes. And then because he has metabolic syndrome, we're going to look for recipes that are low glycemic, let's say dairy-free because he has a sensitivity, and gluten-free. We have a huge list of tags that you can apply when you're searching for recipes. So if you're looking for Candida-friendly recipes, autoimmune, we've got sugar-free, egg-free, elimination diet, and then you've got your tags for meal type, so breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, desserts, the list goes on and on. We try to make it really easy to sort through this recipe database. You can also search by recipes that you want to, or ingredients that you want to include or exclude. So I'm going to leave these empty for now, but if you had any food sensitivities that were not covered with tags, you could put those in the exclude category. If you're specifically looking for a recipe that has, for example, sardines in it, you could look for recipes that contain sardines. You can also search based on nutrition criteria. So I'm going to add a few filters in here for Richard with his metabolic syndrome. Let's say low saturated fat. Maybe we want to limit the amount of cholesterol that he's having. I'll say under 75 milligrams per meal. And then let's say sodium. And oops, sorry about that, guys. I clicked out. So maybe this isn't the exact criteria that you would use, but that's totally fine. The awesome thing about That Clean Life is that it is totally custom to whatever your client needs. So if you have a different way of meal planning for metabolic syndrome, that is totally fine. So we're saying low saturated fat, low cholesterol, and then we're bringing sodium down. And once you have input all this criteria, you can filter the recipes. And of all the recipes in our database, anything that doesn't meet those criteria is going to be pulled out. Also, really great tip for you guys is if you are meal planning for a specific condition over and over again, you can actually save as a bookmark. So I could create a bookmark with this right now and just call it metabolic syndrome. And then I won't need to input all of those filters every single time I'm creating a meal plan for metabolic syndrome. I can just apply that bookmark.
Ashley?
Yeah.
Quick question. There's a question on, does That Clean Life have low histamine options?
Okay, yeah, so we don't have a low histamine filter. The main reason for this, we've looked at adding a low histamine filter, is just that because there's so many different levels to the low histamine diet, we don't know what would be appropriate for everyone. So this is an awesome way that you can use bookmarks. So you can create your own low histamine filter and then just save it as a bookmark. So input all of your high histamine foods, exclude them, any of the tags that apply to low histamine, and then you can save it so you can easily search for low histamine.
So Ashley, would the bookmarks that you were showing get updated with the new weekly recipes that get introduced?
Yes. So that's a great point. So when I apply that bookmark of metabolic syndrome in 2 weeks, it's going to include all of the recipes in the database that have been added since I created the bookmark. So that's why bookmarks are awesome and will save you a ton of time, because you input the search and then you can reuse that search over and over again. Okay, cool. So now I have all of the recipes that are going to work for Richard. So of those 1,400 recipes in the database, we are down to only the recipes that are going to work for him. And here's where I can get to work on creating his actual meal plan. So from the recipe page, you can start selecting recipes to add to your client's meal plan. Over in my planner, I've already created a blank meal plan called Richard's Meal Plan Week 1. And I've started filling it out just so that we don't have to spend all day here, but I'm gonna show you how I did that. So for example, this pumpkin spice chia pudding, this would be an awesome recipe for Richard. I can click into the recipe, I can take a look at the ingredients, I can check out the directions, I can have a peek at the nutrition info. So it's great because it's high in fiber, but it's looking kind of low in calories. So here's how I would handle this from a meal planning perspective. First, I would add it to his meal plan. And actually, before I add it to his meal plan, I'm gonna make sure that the number of servings I select is right for him. So he doesn't wanna make a fresh breakfast every morning, so I'm gonna have him prepare 5 servings of this chia pudding all at once. You guys know the deal with chia pudding. It is really simple to create, and then it lasts in the fridge for days. So I'm gonna change the number of servings this recipe makes from 2 to 5, and the ingredients are gonna automatically update there. And then I'm gonna add it to his breakfast for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So 5 days, 5 servings. Then I'm gonna head over to the planner. I'm going to toggle days 2 through 5 as leftovers. So this is an awesome feature for meal planning because you can have your clients meal prep or batch cook and then indicate for them which meals are not to be made fresh. So when Richard gets his meal plan, he's gonna see that Tuesday through Friday, he's having leftovers for breakfast, so he doesn't need to cook, which is awesome. Now, I saw that this recipe was maybe a little bit low calorie for what I'd want Richard to have, so I'm gonna add a side dish. So click into that meal, you can add a main and a side to any meal slot. I'm gonna add a side dish of walnuts because walnuts are high in calories, and then they are also really good for people who have metabolic syndrome. So I'm going to add that as a side dish. I'm going to do the same thing here where I'm just going to mark this as a leftover on Tuesday through Friday. So it's easy for him. And it's that simple to create a meal plan. So a couple of other things that I'll show you guys while we're right here in the planner. I've already built out a meal plan for Richard. So you can see on Monday for lunch, I had him meal prep 2 servings of tuna chickpea salad. And then he's having that for lunch on Monday and on Tuesday. And Tuesday it's marked as a leftover. On Monday night for dinner, you can see I've scheduled 2 servings of this beef, asparagus, and mashed sweet potato. And then I've used that second serving as a leftover for lunch on Wednesday. Snacks, I've kept them to 1 serving and just have him make those fresh every day since they're really, really simple. And I've left Friday and Sunday night with no recipe because maybe I identified in my meal planning assessment with Richard that he likes to go out for dinner with his friends on Friday night and he always has dinner with his parents on Sunday night. So there's tons of flexibility here. Anything that's grayed out is a leftover. And everything is automatically tallied up in terms of nutrition information. So if there's any nutrients of interest that you're watching out for, you can keep track of that here. We also show the breakdown just in macro distribution ratios. If you guys are interested in seeing that, you can easily toggle. And everything that's on Richard's meal plan is automatically added into a shopping list. So when he gets his meal plan, it accounts for leftovers. So he only buys exactly what he needs. And it makes shopping a lot easier because even though I'm sure if we were to poll this audience, most of us enjoy meal planning and grocery shopping, our clients not so much. I see a question about adding your own recipes, which is definitely something you can do. So you have a recipe box in that Clean Life. You can add your own recipes and then you can add them to any meal plan the same as you would a recipe that exists within that Clean Life. Another really awesome tip, guys, is that you can modify any recipe within that Clean Life. So maybe I'm going to remove all of my filters right here. So this is just the recipes that are within that Clean Life. So this roasted veggies with cranberries and orange, this looks awesome. And I'm wondering, why didn't that show up in my filter for Richard? Looking at the ingredients, it's probably because it has added salt and we have a low sodium diet for Richard. So 131 milligrams of sodium, and I think I specified under 100 milligrams. So the way that I could fix this is by modifying the recipe. So I'm gonna copy it. I can add a little note, say, for example, low sodium, copy the recipe. And then what I'm going to do is either reduce or in this case, remove the ingredient that is not working for your client. So I'm going to delete salt from the ingredients. The nutrition info has automatically updated. We are now well under 100 milligrams of sodium. And I will also remove any reference to salt in the directions. And from there, I'm just going to save the recipe. This is now going to be saved in my recipe box forever. And I can use this the same way I would use any other recipe in that Clean Life. So in addition to adding your own recipes, you can also modify our recipes to make them your own. You can modify, I could spend the rest of this demo, guys, just showing you how to modify recipes, but you can swap meat for plant-based proteins. You can remove cooking oil or lower cooking oil if you want to reduce fat. You can remove added sweeteners if you want to reduce sugars. There are so many ways. So please never feel limited to the recipes that you have here in that Clean Life. Another thing that I'll show you guys quickly is our programs. So if you're in a rush, we actually have some pre-made meal plans available for you. So this is really helpful to just grab and go. For example, we've got an autoimmune ketogenic diet, we've got low-fat vegan diet, we've got a sugar-free paleo diet, a low FODMAP, we've got a couple 3-week programs that are focused on just like healthy eating, meal prepping, whole food, plant-based. There are so many, there's something in here for everyone. And these are great for just giving your client a sample plan if they don't want to fully like sign up for one-on-one meal planning, or if that's not part of your model. And these meal plans, they look exactly the same as anything that you would create yourself in That Clean Life. Everything is still customized with your branding, and you can modify them. So you could, for example, use this sugar-free paleo diet as a template, and then maybe you want to increase the calories or remove all the recipes that have nuts to make this meal plan totally nut-free. So the way that you do that is just copy the diet. So let's say sugar-free paleo diet for Shelly, and then I'm gonna customize it based on Shelly's unique needs. I highly recommend that you use these pre-made meal plans as templates because they can save you a lot of time from getting started. So I could remove all of the nut recipes to make the meal plan nut-free and then replace them with nut-free snack options. I could add a side dish to some meals to increase the calories, for example. Let's say like roasted potatoes would be really, really good with this. Roasted potatoes and asparagus, perfect. So the sky's the limit. Customization is the name of the game. So if you are looking to create super specific meal plans, I see a question from Erin about Leap. We have a lot of Leap providers using That Clean Life because, yeah, meal planning for Leap can be really frustrating. So you can create bookmarks, you can type in your client's unique results. And then again, the sky is totally the limit. So let me actually show you guys, before I get into answering too many questions, what your client actually receives. So if I head back to this meal plan that I was creating for Richard, I'm going to show you what Richard's going to see, because That Clean Life is a practitioner facing software. So your clients never log in, they never interact with That Clean Life. Once you have finished creating a meal plan for your client, it's time to actually get this meal plan to them. So you'll click on export, and then as always, you have full control of all kinds of different options. So what I'm gonna do for Richard is I'm gonna include his meal plan and his shopping list. I'm going to exclude notes. You have the option to include recipe notes, which is where we make suggestions for swaps. A lot of our suggestions, I think, might compromise his metabolic syndrome recommendations. So if we're recommending high sodium ingredients or something like that. So I'm just going to remove those. You also have the option to include nutrition information if you want, and I'll show you what that looks like in a moment. I'm going to select a cover photo. Obviously, we are all about making healthy eating fun, simple, and exciting. So being able to include delicious food photos is huge. I'm going to include all of the recipes that I put on his plan. And then we give you a space to write a meal plan introduction. You can include links, you can include any additional notes that you want your client to see. Since you guys are Practice Better users, usually I focus on only talking about the meal plan here, and then any additional notes about their protocol, I would actually write into their protocol in Practice Better. So what I'm gonna do here is show you guys how to use our client meal plan introduction. So this is something that's pre-written within That Clean Life. So all you have to do is type hi, the client's name, Richard, and then it walks him through how to use the meal plan. Everything is already written and saved. You can add any additional notes or links that you want to. And then once I download the plan, this is what Richard is going to see. So he gets this cover photo that I selected, that introduction that I included, which gives him tips for grocery shopping, how to read his meal plan. So it explains why some recipes are grayed out, what that means, tips for cooking, anything that he needs to know to be successful. The actual meal plan itself, the shopping list, which is itemized based on all of the ingredients that I added, and then it gets straight into the recipes. And everything is always branded with your custom information. So you've got your name, your website, and your logo. So if Richard were to share one of these recipes with his friend, then that's like a functional business card for you. One more way that I want to make sure I cover, because I know that we have some people who can't provide meal plans or don't want to provide meal plans, and I did talk about using recipe books. So another strategy that you could use here for Richard is I'm going to go back to my bookmarks. I'm going to apply that metabolic syndrome bookmark. And I've started a collection under my collections tab of recipes for metabolic syndrome. So I've created easy recipes for metabolic syndrome as a collection. What I did is I added all of the recipes that I found when I searched for those metabolic syndrome recipes that I thought would be helpful to a client who has metabolic syndrome and who needs easy recipes. So this collection is something that you can create once and you can use over and over again. You can keep it updated as we add new recipes that fit these needs. And then export the collection. I'm going to select the recipes. This time I'm going to include the nutrition information. So I'm going to send this to Richard instead of a meal plan. So this would be another option for how to support a client with metabolic syndrome instead of giving them a meal plan. This time I'm going to select cover photo. And then I actually have custom written a snippet. So snippets are what we call the text that you save. So in your brief, I've written a meal planning guide snippet. So I'm going to say, hi, Richard. And then this introduces him to all of the recipes. So instead of introducing him to a meal plan, this is about a recipe book. And again, it covers those tips of how to create a meal plan using the recipes that I provided to him. This is great for any of you guys who can't provide meal plans. Like I see a question about if this is only for registered dietitians. So if meal planning isn't in your scope of practice, this is what you could do. I'm going to select all the recipes in this collection. You can export up to 50 recipes at a time. And here's what Richard is going to see. So he's going to get this easy recipes for metabolic syndrome book. I've included this introduction for him of how to create a meal plan using the recipes. And then it gets straight into the recipes. And as you can see this time, I've included the nutrition information. So for each recipe, he can identify what we've discussed are those nutrients of concern. He can see that they're low cholesterol, low sodium, and all of the criteria that I specified there. So the sky is the limit. This is just a couple of ways that you can use that Clean Life for meal planning, but I think that that covers a lot. And then I see a question about sending the meal plans to multiple people. So you have two ways. When you send your client a meal plan, you can actually email it directly to them. But guys, since you are Practice Better users, I personally think that the best way to use that Clean Life with Practice Better is to download the PDF to your computer and then to upload it into your client's Practice Better file so that they're still getting all of their communication with you and all of their files and supporting documents and everything is in one place. You can directly email it to them from that Clean Life, but as a practitioner, I think that the best way to do it is to use it within that Clean Life. Okay, so before we move on, since I still have my screen share open, if anyone has any questions, I know there was a lot going on in the chat box, and Shelly, if you saw anything that you think I should cover, feel free to chime in.
Yeah, there's a question. Can I share recipes in a newsletter or a blog?
Oh, gotcha. So you can download a single recipe to attach to a newsletter. For example, let's say this seasonal sparkling pomegranate limeade. You can download a single recipe and attach it to your newsletter. That Clean Life is not a content tool. So it's not, our recipes are not meant to be shared on your blog or the photos to be sent in your newsletter as a part of your formatting. So everything does have to stay in the PDF format. And then in terms of marketing, it's every member's responsibility to market their own services. This is more for use with your clients in your programs and remaining within that PDF format. Hopefully that clarifies for you. Lisa, I see asking kind of a similar question. Whose recipes are these? Do we need to cite? So again, recipes are not for sharing across social media, but when you use the recipe within the PDF format, it's going to be your name, your logo, your business info on those PDFs. Your client isn't going to see that Clean Life or interact with them anywhere. And yeah, So that's one of the benefits of your membership, is that everything is custom branded with your own business information. We have thousands of members, and because of that, we ask that the photos do not be shared on social media or posted anywhere else, because we want to keep the recipes super exclusive and valuable, and we want your clients to feel like they are getting something from you that they can't find anywhere else. So these aren't recipes that are posted all over food blogs on the internet. These are totally exclusive. I see some questions about cost and membership. I'll cover all of that in just a minute, guys. I think do we have any other questions about specific uses within that Clean Life, or are we good?
There's a question, is there a way to alter the ingredients and instructions if somebody is cooking for the whole family without then allocating all servings to the individual?
Yes, absolutely. So when you are creating a meal plan, the nutrition information is showing per person. So assuming that you are eating one serving, and you can adjust that if you wanted Richard to have 2 servings to himself, you could specify that. But this is going to show you the nutrition information per person. So I'm going to show you a really quick example of this. So let me open up our low-fat vegan diet. This is a meal plan that was created for one person. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to scale it so that this now serves 4 people. So the nutrition information per day is not going to change, because this is still showing what nutrition breakdown would look like if one person ate everything that is specified here on this meal plan. But now for a recipe with 4 days of leftovers, you can see it makes 16 servings. So you can easily scale recipes to cook more or less depending on how many people they're feeding. That's absolutely no problem. I see a question from Andrea about setting macros and having it filled in automatically. So that Clean Life does not automatically generate meal plans based on nutrition information. You do have to search, but we give you a lot of features to find the perfect recipes for your clients. So if you are working with macros, you can specify that you want breakfast recipes that have between 5 and 10 grams of fat, between 20 and 30 grams of protein, and between 30 and 40 grams of carbs, for example. And then you would see only recipes that meet those criteria. Okay, so I think we are good to go, guys. I'm going to move out of my screen share right now, and we'll just cover some of your questions about like pricing, and also I want to cover that third secret for you.
You want me to jump in just for a few minutes to show where they can find that Clean Life assessment in Practice Better?
Perfect. Yeah, my screen share is off, Shelly, so go for it.
Yeah, okay. Let me share my screen. Can you guys see that?
We're good. Looks good.
Okay, great. So in Practice Better, Ashley had mentioned that we do have a free template for you guys that's already built. So if you go to your forms and waivers under the red fast action button here, you can say create from template. And then right here, you can see the meal planning assessment. So you can click on that, just say got it here. And then it's going to add it. It's going to take you into the edit mode so you can see it here, but just make sure after you've reviewed it that you want to make sure you save and exit. So that's going to save it to your list. So if I click save and exit, you'll see here that that was saved to my list of forms. And then we can take a quick look at that under preview. So we have some information about the client, some other questions, information about their current lifestyle, current diet, meal planning questions. So this is really nice for them. They don't have to print it out, scan it, send it back. It's all right in the Practice Better platform. And then real quick, I just wanted to let you know, a few of you were asking about using that Clean Life with Practice Better. So there are a lot of different ways that you can get these meal plans and recipes to your clients, just depending on how you're working with them. So one of the ways that we talked about was in the protocols, so let's say in a protocol template, you can, based on what the protocol is, you can attach that down here under the supporting documents. So I have here a 21-day real food reset, the recipe book, and then I also have the first 2 weeks of recipes attached to the protocol. So when you assign this to a client, they're automatically going to get those recipes in the recipe guide through the protocols. Another way, and I won't get into demoing all of this, but there are some other ways. So you can, if you're running a group program, a fixed date program, you want to, or even an evergreen program, but you can attach these documents in the program under the modules. So if we just take a quick look at an evergreen program, I think I have some of these in the macronutrient and superfoods module. You can come under here under the content tab, and you can attach those into your module, and you can either have them open in the module, or you can have it just be as an attachment. So even if it opens within the module, the client will still be able to download it as a PDF. So just some other ways, I mean, you can share these in the document section. So you can go in and upload it as a document, and then you can easily, I have my 21-day real food reset. I can easily come over here and say, share with specific clients, and maybe I just want to share with this client. And so I have it in my documents, but it just makes it really easy, once it's uploaded, to come in here and share it. I could also share it in the notes. So if I create a note for a client, I can attach any of those documents here under the documents. So if you were talking about a cardiometabolic food plan or elimination diet, whatever you were talking about in that session, you want to attach those, that guide or the meal plans that go with that. You could attach it to a session note. And I guess the last place that I'll mention is in the messaging. So you can attach files here if you click on this button, if you're going to send it directly to a client, or if you're running a group. Maybe you're running a group program and you have some recipes that go along, maybe with a 10-day challenge, you have 10 days of recipes, and you could attach the guide in here just by clicking on this little button, and then you can just attach it into the group program. So those are just a few ways that I would recommend sharing That Clean Life with your clients in Practice Better.
Amazing. Beautiful. Okay, guys, gonna wrap things up. I'm firing my screen share back up for you one more time. And I want to cover secret number 3 of our 3 secrets. And that is that meal plans are an incredible way to grow your business. So now that you've seen how easy it can be to create meal plans, and you're saving hours every single week on meal planning for your clients, you're going to have a lot more time to dedicate to business growth, and meal planning can be a huge part of that growth. So like I've already shown you, a great meal plan will take all the advice that you're giving to your clients and lay it out in a really easy to follow framework, and something that they'll actually comply with. So the fastest and absolute best way to grow your business is to focus on making your clients successful, right? I always say that the health of your clients reflects the health of your business, and meal planning can do a lot to help you achieve that success. So your clients are like a fleet of salespeople that will walk around and spread the word about how much of an impact you've had on their lives. And that means direct referrals, which are clients that come knocking on your door instead of you having to go out and hunt for them, which is something I think we can all say that we dream about. Every dollar that you invest in improving the experience and success of your clients is a dollar that you're not going to have to invest in marketing and client acquisition. So more time doing what you love and less time worrying about how to get clients in the door so that you can do it. A couple more examples because you guys really, really liked those at the beginning. So I just want to walk you through a few different ways that we've seen That Clean Life members using meal planning to grow their businesses. So Ashley, she's a holistic nutritionist who uses That Clean Life to run multiple sold out workshops every single year that connect her with new clients and add a whole other revenue stream to her business. She runs so many workshops that it's actually a whole separate revenue stream for her. Noreen is a registered dietitian who uses her clients' meal plan and shopping list to guide grocery store tours. So that's an additional service which she offers to her clients. So they pay for that additional appointment, either as individuals or as a group. Lizzie, she's a dietitian who uses That Clean Life to teach cooking classes in addition to her clinical practice. For those of you guys who love working with food, that could be an amazing revenue stream for you. Jas is a holistic nutritionist who has been building her Instagram following for years, and she was finally able to turn her Instagram followers into email subscribers by creating a lead magnet to start growing her email list. So there's so many more examples that I could share. I just want to make sure that you guys really see all the different ways that you can use meal planning in your business to see some major growth. Okay, so we love Practice Better. We're huge fans of you guys and your community. So if you're feeling inspired after listening to all these stories and seeing everything that we shared today and ready to take action on everything that we've been able to teach you, we have a super special bonus offer for Practice Better users. And here at That Clean Life, we have one membership. So it's really simple. You either pay $600 for the year, or you can pay $60 per month. So obviously you get a better price when you pay for the year upfront. And we're also going to sweeten the deal and throw in a bonus one-on-one implementation session today. So we know that you guys are super busy. You want to get up and running fast. I saw a ton of questions in the chat about if there's a place to learn about all the features of That Clean Life once you sign up. So when you sign up for our business yearly membership in the next 48 hours, we're going to offer you a one-on-one implementation session totally free. We don't usually do this, but we want to get you up and running ASAP. So this is a 30-minute call with one of our That Clean Life success coaches, and this implementation session is going to allow you to chat with us one-on-one to learn about how you can best use That Clean Life to achieve your goals. So no matter what you're working on that I talked about today, whether it's launching a subscription service or just meal planning for complex cases like LEAP clients, we will walk you through everything that you need to know about using That Clean Life to do that. And like I said, this isn't something that we usually offer, but since you guys are special to us, we love Practice Better and we love your community. If you sign up with That Clean Life yearly membership, it's $600 for the year in the next 48 hours. We'll throw in this bonus for you. And that's everything. So here's what you need to do to get in on that before we jump into Q&A. If that sounds good to you, we're going to drop the link to sign up in the chat box. All you have to do is click it and get signed up for our yearly membership. And that's it. After you've signed up, send an email to support@thatcleanlife.com and we'll get you booked in for your one-on-one implementation session. We are super pumped up about this because we don't usually offer one-on-one calls, but we love talking to you guys. And it's like getting a free one-on-one business coaching session. So if you've been thinking about That Clean Life, or if this is your first introduction to it and you think that this could really help you take your business to the next level, don't miss out. This bonus offer does expire in 48 hours. And since it's not something we offer on an ongoing basis, I can't guarantee that it'll ever be available again. Okay, I know you guys have a ton of questions, so I'm going to maybe turn things over to Shelly to field some of those questions while I get caught up on the chat box.
Yeah, we'll turn our cameras back on just to kind of go through these questions with you. Ashley, are you gonna you're gonna put the link where they can sign up in the chat box?
Yeah, just give me 1 second.
Oh, okay.
I have to pull that up and turn my camera back on. Okay, cool. Yeah, let me grab that link for you guys right now.
So there was a question about the Practice Better pricing. So I will, I'm going to put that link in the chat box as well. Let's see. So we have 4 different plans. So you can go there and see what the plans are. There we go. And they are monthly. So we don't currently offer a yearly plan, but we have 4 different plans monthly, and one of them is the free Sprout plan.
Oh, okay, amazing. And I just popped in the link to sign up for that Clean Life using to show that you came from Practice Better so that you guys can get in on that offer. Okay, cool. And I'm gonna open up the Q&A box just to see if there's anything in there that I missed. I know we've got a lot of questions in the chat too, so we'll do our best to get to everyone. I see a question from Samina about recipes for different cultures. So I would say that most of our recipes are more Western, but we do our best to incorporate recipes. I know we had a request for some like Egyptian recipes a little while ago, and we were able to add some Egyptian recipes. And we are always developing new recipes. So if you have any specific requests, definitely let us know about that. Another question about recipes for specifically targeting lowering blood pressure. All of our recipes are really whole food focused, as you probably saw from the demo. So I would say personally as a nutritionist that most of our recipes are appropriate for like a DASH kind of diet. And maybe if you want to remove added salt, that's most of what you would have to do. So we definitely give you the features to be able to do that. Beautiful. Oh, and I see Samina about Indian and Pakistani recipes. Okay, awesome. Yeah, like if you have any questions about specific recipes, you can always shoot us an email to hello@thatcleanlife.com. We can let you know what our database looks like there. And then if you are a member and you have any specific requests for recipes, we're constantly updating that database. So please let us know. Oh, I see. Okay, perfect. Shelly just dropped the link in again. Awesome. Okay, so I'm just scrolling up, guys. If you have any questions that you really want to make sure that we answer, pop those into the chat box right now. Otherwise, you can always email us. I'll put the email address right here in the chat for you. So you can shoot an email to hello@thatcleanlife.com anytime with any questions that we didn't get a chance to answer today, whether it's about using That Clean Life or about this bonus offer if you're curious, and we'll get back to you ASAP. Of course, if you have questions about the Practice Better side, I'm sure Shelly will be happy to answer those ones for you.
Yes, I'll type in the email help@practicebetter.io with any Practice Better related questions. Well, thank you so much, Ashley. This is so exciting. I really wish I had this back when I was a health coach. This would have saved me so much time, and I know my clients would have loved it. But it's here now, and it's amazing. So thanks for giving us the lowdown, and it looks beautiful.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. Again, shoot us an email anytime at hello@thatcleanlife.com. I'll pop that link into the chat box one more time for you guys. And thank you so much for coming out. You guys are an awesome community, and it was a total pleasure to be able to chat with you guys today.
All right. Thank you. Have an awesome day. Bye.
Yeah.